Hey, it's me, Lucid. So I think it's time for me to summarize my opinions on a new-ish content model that GC is doing, which is micro DLC. If you don't know what micro DLC is, then let me explain it to you. Micro DLC is smaller DLCs added to a game, which is often not super expensive, but does not add anything super big either. So let's take GC as example. Phoenix Rising and Alpine Unrest is counted as normal DLC, while stuff like weapon and base building DLC is counted as micro DLC. Alright. So let's start off with what the point of the video is. The point is to convey my and some other people's issues with the current model they are using to update the game, and how we think it's affecting the development and quality of the updates. Now I'm gonna make it clear that the issues is mostly not about the content of the DLC itself. I like most of the new guns and base building items, except for a few of them. Looking at you, Kotenok. This is about how the DLCs are affecting the free content of the game. So let me start off with my first point, which is that I think the micro DLCs are downgrading the content we get for free. Let's take base building first, for example. When base building was added, we did not have a lot of items to build with. It was quite a poor amount. So then of course when they added more items, then most of them were paid for. Right now we have two DLCs that add different items to base building. Don't get me wrong, most of the items in those DLCs are great and make base building way better. But my question is, why is it paid and not free? Was the intention to release base building bare bones so that they can squeeze out some extra dollars later? Because that is how it looks like. I can say this about the weapon DLCs as well. For example, the bow and flamethrower has been highly suggested since launch of the game. When they finally decided to make them come into the game, then it's paid. Is it because it will sell better because those items request a lot? Because why is it not free? So how can this be fixed? In my opinion, they should look at DLCs not as a way to add content to stuff that needs more content, like base building. It should be DLC that is a side bonus to stuff that already has enough free content. Also, please don't make stuff that has been requested for ages paid suddenly. Alright, so my second point is that the micro DLC seems to be getting more priority than other more important stuff. For example, the latest example, which is when base assault and defense was not working for majority of players, and then the second base building DLC was released before it was fixed. How can they ask you to pay for something that does not even work correctly at the time? They should fix bugs like that before adding more DLC. It's the same with other bugs that should have been fixed a while ago. For example, the HDP schematic still being stuck. How can they release a couple of micro DLCs before fixing such an easy to fix issue is beyond me. In my opinion, bugs like that must be focused on and fixed before any DLCs are released, no matter what. My third point is that the inclusion of external countries' weapon packs has almost no lore on how they got to Sweden and how we have our hands on them. Now I'm not a big lore guy and the amount I care about GC's lore is non-existent, but even I can see how it feels lazy for them to have the only lore connected to the DLCs being a small paragraph on the store page that does not even explain much at all. Many people have said that it would be nice to have a small mission or two for each DLC that explains the lore of the DLC and then gives us the 3C versions of each weapon at the end of the missions. That would also make DLC feel like they have more quality, as I'm about to talk about next. So please, at least give us some in-game lore instead of a paragraph on the store page. It does not even have to be a long quest or anything, just something that explains it inside the game. Alright, so my fourth and final point is more directed to the content itself. Though I said before this is the issue I care the least about, but it does not mean it is any less valid. So let's start with every DLC item that I think should be improved upon in certain ways, and those are the model of the N16, the rear sight of the N60 missing, the power of the Kotenok, and the power of the S21. Now these are things I think is bringing down the quality of the micro DLCs by quite a lot. All of those things may be of less quality of base game items, and in my opinion DLC items should at least be on par with base game items. But as you can see, there seems to be a focus on releasing the packs as soon as possible, instead of making sure they are up to quality. Now don't get me wrong, I think they are taking steps into changing this by how the recent Resistance weapons DLC all seems to up to standards and not feel lazy in any way. But that does not change the fact that the older DLCs have not been touched at all since they have been released. Not a single thing has been changed about them. I hope the devs plan to go back to them and fix them up. I'm doubtful of that, since I think they will keep focusing on making more DLCs instead. So to summarize the issues with the current development of the micro DLC model is, the DLCs are downgrading quality of game content and future content, the DLCs are getting more priority than stuff that is fixing inside the base game. The only lore we have on the DLCs are on the store pages and no in-game lore exists. the DLCs lack in quality compared to older base game items, like weapons. So if anyone who works with Systemic Reaction sees this video, please take all these points to heart and try to improve upon it. These issues is not only my opinion, it's also a lot of people's opinions that I've summarized here in this video, so that we can hopefully see some change in the future. We care about GC and want it to be the best it can be, but the micro DLC model is something that is really hurting it. I still love GC, and this video is not to make any hate to any devs or anyone in general. I respect that they have made such an amazing game. This is just a video made for the betterment of GC's future. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Also, leave a comment explaining your take on the situation. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Anyway, see you in the next one and have a good day.